at Adelaide International Raceway for the AC Delco Cup. Round number 4, race number 1, and Terry Wyhoon leads them out in the VP Car Care. First ever pole position, just ahead of Jimmy Richards. Kim Jane and Rodney Jane are off row number 2.
Row number 3, we've got Max Dumsney and Neville Lance. Great combination. Row 4, Greg Murphy and John Maltseed.
And going down to row number 5, we have got Jimmy Ellis and Bob Middleton. And Ian Thomas and Paul Stocker make up row number 6. Stocker, in fact, not qualifying, preferring to save the car. The pace car is off now, and we're about to get racing underway. Green flag at the ready.
Well, these Cup cars really a handful here on the Adelaide International Racetrack. Short circuit, not as much room as the Thunderdome. Not quite as fast either, but still takes an enormous amount of concentration to get through these turns.
Didn't take Kim Jane long to get under Jimmy Richards there and move up in the second spot. But what about Terry Wyhoon, George? The VP Car Care team have come away already with their first pole position with this Tommy Smith-built Thunderbird. A great result.
Beautifully prepared car, great result. A little bit loose as he came out of that turn there. It almost creased the wall, just missed it, but he's certainly got that thing firing.
The interesting point is that while everyone was out practicing today, prior to qualifying, Terry Wyhoon and the BP Car Care team were taking care of themselves. They were at the hotel in the pool.
Well, Gerald, you know, sometimes you've got to wonder when you're racing late in the afternoon and then later on in the night, as these cars will be, you know, the heat of the day, temperatures in excess of 40 degrees, sometimes you don't really achieve anything. You go out there and you set the car up for those conditions. When you come back to race later on in the afternoon, everything's changed. So you haven't really achieved anything other than wearing out the car and yourself and your crew in that heat.
Well, it was a good result for qualifying in Terry Wyhoon, number 1. The 25 BP Car Care car is out in front of Kim Jane. And a bit of a push that time, George, and all of a sudden he lost a whole lot of space.
That car definitely getting a push. I'm a little concerned that maybe he could be losing a bit of pressure in the front right-hand tyre. Car's running very wide through the turn there. You can see it going, definitely a handful for Terry, and Kimbo is really taking advantage of it.
Now, you've spoken about maybe losing pressure in that. Look at the push there already. And that's what it might be. I think he might have a tyre going down. He comes wide out of turn number 4.
Well, he's fighting it. He's certainly not going to give it away easily, you know, and the car, I mean, for a car to get tight as quickly as this one has to be a fairly dramatic sort of a change. I don't think it's a suspension problem because he's still able to drive the car reasonably straight down the straightaways. But as he gets into the turns, he's setting it up and he's having to get out of the gas a little early to try and set up. Look how wide he's running. Oh, and he's hit the wall.
Well, that was a big push that time for the BP Car Care team, and Terry Wyhoon is in all sorts of problems. What a shame. He was doing so well after qualifying on pole, and now he's going to have to make his way around to the pit area and see what he can do.
Yeah, that's tough, Gerald, you know, but it just goes to show that these cars, if they develop a problem like that, they're really not going to fix themselves. You really need to come in and do something about it. But however, that's easy to say when you're sitting in a nice cool commentary box. These guys are out there in 55 to 60 degree heat conditions inside those cars.
Very tough on the drivers. Kim Jane out in front of Jimmy Richards in the Pie Royal number 1. No Fear car, and Max Dumsney currently in 3rd spot, and we've said it before. There's Terry Wyhoon limping into the pit area. Obviously the front wheel's going to have to get changed. The panels on the side of the car look very second-hand, but the BP Car Care team over the wall, and they're about to go to work.
You know, one thing in his favour here as we watch him in the pits there is that the aerodynamics won't play such a great part here, not like the Thunderdome. If they can fix the suspension, they'll be fast.
Well, let's go down to Nathan Prendergast in pit lane with Sue Wyhoon and see if they can do the job and get Terry back out there.
Sue Wyhoon, Terry had a little bit of a touch with the wall. How's the car now performing?
The car had a massive push in it, but he was desperate to stay in front of him, but just really couldn't do it. Looks like we've got a bent steering arm, but hopefully we can get that fixed before the next one. We're just trying to stay out there for some points.
Well, that's what it is all about in the end. It is points, and the guy who is just doing an incredible job in the points, although currently lies in 2nd spot, is Kim Jane. Jimmy Richards, after his win at the last round, is in the lead.
And this is certainly a racetrack for Jimmy Richards to dominate on. I mean, the man is just so good on flat tracks. He'll take some beating here tonight.
We should mention that Jim Richards is not in the normal High Royal Pontiac that we normally see him in. He is in a Chevy Monte Carlo, just like Kim Jane's Bob Jane teammate car. Jim Richards and the High Royal team are on the roof of the car right now, passing John Maltz. They have gone and bought this car from Brad Jones, and this is a pure flat track car.
And that's the reason we're seeing Jimmy in it now. He's bought this car just to be dominant on the flat tracks.
Just saw on screen there Rodney Jane and also Max Dumsney. Dumsney currently in third spot. Jane trying to push his way past the number 3 Auscar alloy wheels car, trying to go around the outside of the Valvoline Killer Loop sunglasses Chef Monte Carlo. And Maxi would be having those killer loops on at the moment with the sun glare, especially now as they go down the back straight.
And Rodney James got that car together tonight. You know, the car prepared by John Sidney, and this racetrack seems to be, well, it seems to be suiting Rodney a little more than the Thunderdome.
Seems to be coming their way. Dumsney now, we're on board the Valvoline Killer Loop sunglasses car. There's Maxi there. Geez, he looks good with those killer loops.
It's definitely the McFly look, isn't it?
Well, that's a good old boy. Nascar Rodney's got it all out of shape coming out of turn number 2. Kim Jane now up the back, up the front straight, I should say. And that glare is really, really tough on the drivers as they come out of turn number 2 and down the back straight.
Yeah, it is. They're not only having the glare from the windscreens to contend with, but it's also coming up off the racetrack. You can almost see the heat shimmering up into the cars.
Now, we should also say with the sun starting to go down as well, George, and perhaps even though it has been 42, it's not a whole lot cooler, but it is starting to get cooler. The setups on the cars start to change, and all of a sudden your tyres and everything start to work a whole lot differently.
Yeah, it does. You know, in fact, Gerald, it only takes a cloud to go across in front of the sun to change the conditions of the racetrack, and plays a big part on how the car handles.
Well, Kim Jane currently leads the field here at Adelaide International Raceway. We're going to a break. We'll be back after this.
Coming up on
Raceway, Kim Jane just passing under Jimmy Ellis in the GB galvanising car there, lap 37 of 50, and Kim Jane in that Bob Jane teammate car currently leading the field. George Elliott doing a sterling job.
Certainly is. Both Kim Jane's car and Rodney Jane's car very quick here on Adelaide, and both set up by John Sidney.
Jimmy Ellis doing well there, currently in 5th spot. He might be a lap down, but that's okay. Looking out the back of the Bob Jane T-Mart Repco Goodyear Chevy Monte Carlo of Kim Jane. That sun's starting to go down and starting to become a little bit less of a problem, although it is hampering a bit up the back straight.
Yeah, it's still a problem until it actually goes right down now. You know, once you get to that stage, well, this time in the afternoon, till the sun disappears, it's a major problem.
Jane looking really good in that Chev Monte Carlo, just taking the lines nice and easy, making sure everything's on track. Takes it out close to the wall across the start-finish line and dives back in. Lap 40, 10 laps to go here at AIR for race number 1 of round 4. Here comes Jim Richards on the inside of Jimmy Ellis. And now aboard with Max Dumsney in the Valvoline Killer Loop Bright Eye Sunglass Store Chev Monte Carlo. Trying to get past John Maltz. Greg Murphy, great to have him back in the Clarion Champion Gold Chev Monte Carlo, right on the tail. Oh, when he's waving, he's telling, get out of the way. Murphy's trying to get past Neville Lance, or he is signalling to someone. He's got a problem.
Look how bad that sun is across the windscreen. Can't see a thing there. Totally blind for a while. Actually, he was waving Kim Jane around. He watched Kim come up in the mirror there, knew he was about there and didn't want to hold him up, waved him around, gave him room, and Neville Lance is about to do the same thing.
Well, that's a sign of a great professional driver, Greg Murphy. Not only is he running in his own race, but trying to be very cautious of the people that are running faster than him.
Yeah, well, there's just no point. You know, when the faster cars are coming around to lap you, then there really isn't any point in trying to race with them. You know you're not going to stay with them. Best thing you can do is just pull down, let them go by, and then get back down to racing whoever it is that's on your speed.
Well, Jane just controlling this race at the moment. Well out of second place runner Jim Richards. There's Neville Lance in the King Coil. Well, he'd like a King Coil tonight, I'm sure, because It's been a tough day. It is so hot here at Adelaide International.
Rodney Jane, we just saw slip up the inside there, a little bit sideways coming off the turn, certainly sliding around, but definitely fast. Looking at Max Dumsney now in his car. Look at him working at the wheel there, sawing on it, working it backwards and forwards, just indicates just how slippery it is out there. And there's Rodney out in front.
Well, he'll want to take that third spot back. He's got Bob Middleton there just on the inside, the white line transport car. But Dumsney goes through, just feeds that power on, feeding the power on too, George. In conditions like these with a track fairly slick due to the temperature, that's what you've got to be very careful about.
You do. You need to be very, very careful not to break traction on the back wheels. You break traction and straight away you spin out. It's almost a little bit of a power slide out of all of these turns. There's
Max Dumsney. We're right in with him on the AC Delco in-car camera. And Max has had a busy schedule. He's been running around Australia not only in the AC Delco Cup cars, but also in his sprint car. He's doing a whole lot of racing at the moment.
Yeah, Max, a busy boy, and a busy boy here tonight. Watching him sawing on that wheel as you were speaking there, Gerald. Interesting to see the wheel actually being turned to the right. That's not a good indication in a Nascar.
It will be interesting to see his tyre wear after this race. We're on board with Jim Richards in the Pie Royal, No Fear Wattle Spartan, Chev Monte Carlo. Let's not say Pontiac, it is the Chevy. And Jim Richards looking out the back, down the back, the main straight. Big crowd building up at Adelaide International Raceway. Off in the distance there, we've got a couple of the back markers. We also have Rodney Jane and also Max Dumsney starting to come through.
Jim having a little bit of trouble getting through the turns. I'd say he's got a little bit of a tyre wear problem because you can see him get out of the gas. The gap actually closes up through the turn. Then as he comes off the turn, he's able to pick it up and widen the gap again, as we're seeing now. But you'll see here, as he gets into the turn, he gets off the gas. Rodney actually having to force his way through there. It's a very difficult racetrack to pass on. And Rodney's taking no prisoners. His car's on a charge.
He has absolutely just forced his way past, and I suppose that's a great way of picking up positions. Now, Kim Jane well out in front. There goes Lance and Murphy, but Jane's still in control. And now Jimmy Richards has the number 3 Auscar alloy wheel Chev on his tail of Rocket Rodney.
Yeah, he's under pressure. Rodney a little sideways there coming out of the turn, certainly getting everything he possibly can out of that car. Kim Jane around the outside there.
At 49 of 50, just 1.5 laps virtually to go. Jane has just gone past Ian Thomas, also experiencing a push here in that first race with the Valvoline number 2 car. And Rodney Jane sideways out of turn number 2.
Fairly controlled slide, did a good job actually to recover that car.
Last lap is out. White flag is waving. Kim Jane well out in front. Coming up on the tail of Terry Wyhoon in the BP Car Care car. But here comes Rocket Rodney. Can he get second spot?
Well, we haven't got long to wait to find out. You know, Rodney's running out of patience there. He's seen throwing that car almost sideways coming out of the turn.
And checkered flag has waved for Kim Jane. He takes the win. And here's Rodney Jane now trying on Jimmy Richards.
How much pace has he got? Oh, he's hit Richo. He's around.
He's gone on the grass, knocked Richo around.
Thanks for coming.
Absolutely. Kim Jane takes a great win. Let's go down to the happy winner with Nathan Prendergast.
Well, Kim, well done, back in form. Problems for you last round. It looks like the car's back together and you're hot.
Oh, mate, very hot. Like, you know, we had to make up for last round. Even though we're allowed to take out our best round of the season, that was our worst round so far and in a long time. So we really had to make up for it today. And I think we did it by just about killing everybody, or demoralising the field. But the car's great. There's some few changes we can make, I think, to make it even better. So I'm just looking forward to the next one.
What about yourself? Do you like driving on the tighter Adelaide format?
Oh, mate, I like racing anywhere. I'm just a driver. You know, I race Thunderdome, I'll race Adelaide, I'll race anywhere. I just love oval track racing. It's a great challenge, and you know, it's just good to come up for a win for the sponsors again, the Bob Jane Team Arch, Repco and Goodyear.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Well, Dick Midgley, that was looking pretty good for you there for a while, but unfortunately not the way you'd like it.
Well, what happened, Jim lost his brakes early in about halfway through the race, I guess, and young Rodney, I mean, he's coming on strong. He's young, he's ambitious, and inexperienced, let's put it that way.
Did you have any word from Jim inside the car? Did you get any of his thoughts possibly over the radio?
Oh, we couldn't repeat what he said.
Well, a very diplomatic Dick Mitchell there. Kim Jane, a happy winner. Rod Jane takes out second. Max Dumpsey in third. Jimmy Richards claims fourth. And Neville Lance fifth. And George Elliott. A great race in the end. And diplomatic.
Diplomatic and controversial, I would say.
Well, thanks for your company here at Adelaide International Raceway. Check your local guides for round number 4, race 2. Thanks to George Elliott, Nathan Prendergast. We'll see you back soon. Championships, he wants to at least get the same points as Jason Wiley. So when we go to the Goodyear Thunderdome for round 5, they're going to attack it head-to-head again. Let's go back in the pack. Nicole Preddy's starting to get passed by a few other cars. That's Eddie Abel-Nisa coming through in the number 4 car. There goes Armin Charter. But our leader, still Marshall Brewer, with Darren McDonald in second spot. And we've got some action. Wayne Smith, supercharged batteries.
Wayne not having a great night tonight, is he?
Well, Nathan said the car was bent earlier down in Primus Pit Lane. If it ain't bent before, it certainly is bent now.
There's a difference between bending it and wadding it up in a ball.
No doubt the team will have a lot of work to do between now and the next race, but the Statfield National cars are under caution here at Adelaide International Raceway.
Wayne Smith finding his way around into the pit lane, or looking for pit lane. He's going to need to get that rear bumper torn off. The car still seems to go around. How fast it goes around remains to be seen.
The supercharged team getting ready to come over the pit wall, and he's actually gone past his...
Yeah, that's a worry. He's been waved around. This will cost him dearly.
The pits might have been closed that time by George.
Actually just got word through pits were closed. He was waved through, and that will really cost him a lot of time.
On a restart now, lap 38 of 40, just a few laps remaining. Green flag waved. Eddie Abel-Nisa goes around the outside of Nathan Preddy. The DeWalt Tools car trying to hold position, but can the Melbourne cheapest Commodore come through? He goes out wide. There's tangling going on the back straight. And he goes for a wild slide on the grass here on the infield.
Throws plenty of dust up. Didn't interfere with any of the other cars, though, so if he can get it started, possibly get back out there again without bringing out a yellow.
Well, Eddie Abel-Nisa's been in the wars tonight, and the Melbourne cheapest cars, number 4 Commodore, won't have a chance of winning. There is our leader, Marshall Brewer. There's Darren McDonald. Will he try and take the lead back from Brewer? We're not quite sure on the Auto Pro scoreboard, but it is Brewer coming across the line. Last lap, white flag waving, and if he takes the win, you've got to say to the fast track team, fantastic job, because they changed engines between rounds.
Fantastic job to the fast track team. Darren McDonald sideways, but look who's running in third. Jason Wiley, fantastic job to come from the rear of field to get up into third.
Yeah, after the black flag, but Marshall Brewer, Sigwell, welds the pedal to the metal, takes the win, coming out of 4. A great job to the team from Fast Track and Sigwell and Goodyear. There he is, Marshall Brewer on screen. And our runner-up in the second race, Darren McDonald in the Power Mac, Christian Holden Commodore, and Jason Wiley, a fantastic job for third. Let's go down with a very happy winner.
Well, Marshall, absolutely sensational effort, mate. That was a big thrash just to even make it to the racetrack, let alone win. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's a terrific feeling. It's it was certainly a bad start to it, though. We knew the car was a good thing during the period of a race, but to cook the engine and absolutely destroy it, that was the brand new engine's really going to hurt. But it was great to come back, to give the boys an even run. We did that. Many thanks to our sponsors, Sigweld, Ian Tate Race Motors, Pennzoil, Crankshaft Rebuilders, and all the guys, all the team today who I always forget to thank, who've done a terrific job all weekend. So thanks very much.
Top effort both on and off the track, mate. Well-deserved win.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Marshall Brewer. Very happy winner. Darren McDonald came across in second. Jason Wiley in third. Nathan Preddy in fourth spot. And Matthew White rounded out the top 5. The scoreboard for the championship, Jason Wiley, McDonald, Abel-Nisa, Preddy and Matthew White.
Last year, it ended with a bang.
Andy, get out of here! Do you happen to know where to take...
Welcome back to Adelaide International Raceway. I'm Gerald McDormand. With me is George Elliott. The Holden Quality Parts HQ Cup. We've just seen the Statfield National cars. Let's have a little bit look back earlier in the day, George, and see some of this great Holden Quality Parts action.
Well, as always, they will never cease to amaze me in these cars. Just pour it on thick and fast, right from the word go. Plenty of action, and here they go again.
Let's see if we can get around turn number 1 without having the race stop. 25 laps, cars are already banging
on each other.
Rubbing's racing, as they say, and Mark Wicks, the winner of race 1 here at Adelaide International Raceway, leads the field off again. And there's the local boy, the 70 car of John Harding.
I just love the way they swarm through there 5 abreast, and then they all manage to get down into 2 abreast halfway through the turn.
Well, these guys are daredevils to the extreme. Wicks has Harding pressing him. Scott Walker's not too far behind. John Spencer is in there as well. John Agosta and Robert Wright. A whole lot more, but Wicks in the Butch Jones Racing dyno power car doing a great job out in front.
Absolutely. Mark Wicks definitely the man of the moment. He's certainly conquered this racetrack, hasn't he?
Good to see John Agosta coming back. There's Johnny Spencer. Oh, Agosta gets way out of
sideways.
Shape. Hasn't had the best of weekends. He didn't figure in the results in race 1, but on the Thunderdome, he's had a number of wins this season.
Yeah, certainly gets the thing going around the Thunderdome, but hasn't suited the Adelaide flat track quite as well.
Not at all. Scott Walker currently in 3rd spot. Robert Wright in there as well for the Dart Racing team of David Amor. And they've got great support of Ray Bestis. There's the 25 car. That is right. The 24 car is John Spencer, his teammate. Harding goes way out, then cuts back in. That's a different line.
Well, he's gone for a big, hard charge there. He's changed the line altogether. Almost diamond the turn. Threw it out wide, cut it back in again, and then couldn't quite hold it down long enough to be able to get a run off the turn.
Not quite the same width coming up the back straight. There's a few cars trying different lines. Ducking in right down low, but Wicks still leading Cobson. Well, might have just got a little bit out of shape there. Harding pushes right out wide, and Scott Walker now on the inside. Might just take second away.
Yeah, definitely got the preferred line. That car's sideways going through there.
Harding's car really is either high or low or diamond in the turns or apexing them. Seems to be able to drive just about anywhere on this track.
Yeah, just about, and it's a pretty difficult track to do that on.
So Walker still on the inside of Harding, pushing him out wide. I tell you what, that sign that's coming up real fast on the concrete says quit. Oh, you'd have to think about it.
Absolutely. Quit. Time to get out.
Yeah. Well, you'd be thinking, hang on, where is that big brake pedal in one of those?
Absolutely. Mark Wicks leading the way around there, showing the boys how it's done. Car handling beautifully.
He's got the optimum setup for Adelaide International Raceway and got his first win and at the Calder Park Thunderdome earlier this season. We should say today sat on pole, which is a first for the Butch Jones Racing team.
Pretty good effort to come from the Thunderdome, win a race at the Thunderdome, then come and make all the changes that you need to make to set the car up for the flat track, and then be able to go out there and dominate the way he is.
Robert Wright now right on the tail of Scott Walker. He's trying the inside line of John Harding now because Harding... Oh, no, here we go. Harding's starting to tap Wicks.
Yeah, a bit of a push there, a bit of a knock-knock, let me through. I don't know. Well, here he goes. Big charge out the outside. Can he do it? No, definitely not. Too far around that way.
Well, white flag is waving. We're on the last lap here at Adelaide International Raceway. Mark Wicks currently leads ahead of John Harding. Then we've got Scott Walker as well, and Robert Wright sits in 4th spot. Will we see cars going everywhere in the last turn?
Great to see these guys in action. No matter where they race, they always put on a fantastic show, don't they?
Well, almost incident-free. We've got 4 cars running to the checkered flag. Mark Wicks takes a great win for Butch Jones Racing. He is a very happy winner. Let's go down to him with Nathan Prendergast.
We thought, we might go all right in Adelaide, but yeah, 2 wins and pole position and a lap record, I think, sort of sums it up. But the race was a lot harder than the first one. John Harding was really giving me just a couple of taps down the back to let me know he was there. And the last lap, he was right on me. I thought, no way, I'm going to let you go through here. I had to block him pretty hard, but yeah, no, good race.
Well, a great race for Mark Wicks. A very happy winner. Takes the win out Ahead of Scott Walker in the Walker Transport car, John Harding, the Rose and Crown Hotel, Robert Wright and Paul Bongiorno in the Holden Quality Parts Cup. Here we go, iconic, a spectacular moment, and this, George, shows how Adelaide can bite and bite hard.
Absolutely. Last season, short racetrack, little racetrack with a big bite.
And that is Dean Wanless going around. A big crash into the Ford Thunderbird. We're going to a break. We'll be back right after this with more action.
Funniest Man. Showtime. Dolphins with Robin Williams, 7:30 Monday.
Welcome back to Adelaide International Raceway. Sun's going down. Connie Barrica on pole for the Conica Sportsman. And we've got to say, George Elliott, what a great job. He crashed in qualifying, leading the series, has won every race. He's rebuilt the car to get back out here.
Yeah, crashed in qualifying. They've worked all this time to get the car back out. He would have absolutely no idea what this car's going to do when it reaches the end of the straightaway and into turn one.
Well, it is going to be a scary moment. In race one, not many cars got past turn number one. Con Barrica, though, leads the field, and he asked us to say thanks to the team for helping him get out there, and also to Leanne Ross, who's further back in the field because he's gone and ratted the parts of her show car.
Yep, got the little genuine draft bonnet on there from Leanne Ross's car, and he's showing them the way around, so the car definitely has the handling package back together again.
Well, Ron Savas in second spot at the moment. Chris Robinson, our race one winner, in third spot. We've got action on the racetrack with Daryl Howden, the R&D Science Commodore. Had a bit of a problem there. We're under caution, and the pace car comes out. We'll pick up the field.
Ready for the restart. Start this time by, and Connie Barrica is going to show them the way around again. Lap 10 of 25.
And Leanne Ross gets way out of shape there, coming into turn number one. There goes Jerry Rowley in the Kerry Panels car. Car's going around. That's Savas. He's copped it big time. Gilliland's gone around as well. Cars every which way but Blues George.
How lucky was Leanne Ross? She went for the big outside pass there, got out high, probably in an area really wouldn't want to be in. But when the action happened, she drove right around the outside of it.
Well, she would be thanking her lucky stars. Lap 17 of 25. And we've got more problems on the racetrack. Cars have gone around again.
Well, you wanted a night of action. Here it is, Adelaide International Raceway.
Tony Howlett involved that time, unfortunately. But here's Con Barrica currently leading the field, and we've got Chris Robinson right on his tail. There's Ron Savas. Leanne Ross, the number 5 car, doing a pretty good job. Another restart.
What a job these Barrica boys have done to be able to get that car back together like that.
Yeah, they've done a fantastic job, and lap 23 of 25, it looks as though they might take a win, and I'll tell you what, it will be one that is well-deserved. We've got cars going again.
Still banging and trying to shuffle for positions, having up the damage to the front of that car.
That's Stuart Morrison there in the number 6 Holden Commodore. Con Barrica, Chris Robinson and Graham Gilliland. Now our top 3 cars, but Barrica has almost cleared out. And again, we cannot say enough how good a job he has done and the team.
Absolutely. Got clear air in front of him now, and I'd say he's fairly comfortable at the moment.
Well, Stuart Morrison with that front bumper bar hanging off, he's going to hope that he makes it all the way through. Gilliland coming under some pressure there, the number 19 car, starting to give it to him. That's Mark Sutherland, but Sutherland won't be able to get past Leanne Ross right on his tail. White flag is out last lap.
Leanne Ross working feverishly to try and get through the crowd there. Got the car handling pretty well. Fishtailing a little bit, but that's only because she's changing line, trying to get around either the outside or underneath the cars in front of her.
Here comes Barrica out of turn number 4, puts the pedal down in the Barrica Brothers Smash Repairs Falcon and takes a great win. Well done, Con Barrica. Chris Robinson second, Gilliland third, and oh boy, Leanne Ross in fourth or fifth and in the wall.
That hurts after the checkered flag.
That does hurt our winner, though. Con Barrica, disappointed Leanne Ross. Let's go down to Con with Nathan.
A Not a tremendous accomplishment to get this car back on the racetrack, but it looks like you've done it with a fair bit of help from a lot of people.
I can't believe it, actually. It's I'm shaking. I didn't expect to even finish the race, to be quite honest, but got out there in a car that felt really good, so I just kept it rolling. I'd really like to thank all the guys on our team that helped us, especially some people that supply some parts, with the Rosses from Adelaide, who are sponsored by Miller Draft. So if it wasn't for Miller Draft and those people, I wouldn't have been able to put some panels on the car. Yeah, just thanks very much to everyone. I had heaps of support from other competitors as well, and family and friends. Yeah, I'm just stoked. Thanks.
It's Miller time for Connie Farica. Great win ahead of Chris Robinson. Graham Gilliland in third. Mark Sutherland in fourth. Off Leanne Ross clouts the wall to take out position number 5. The AC Delco Cup cars are coming out for race number 2. George Elliott caught up with Jimmy Richards earlier and spoke to him about the controversial finish to race 1.
Jim Richards ran a great race there, a little bit unfortunate right towards the end of the race. Was your car going off?
Yes, we had a bit of a drama with brakes. Boiled the brake fluid, so we had no brake pedal. So we were slowing down, but we could see Rodney coming, but it wasn't a problem. We had enough up, in our, I suppose you could say, in hand to beat him to the flag, had he not, run into us. So I mean, yeah, it's a hard call, but I don't think he probably should have done what he did, because he had 2 wheels over in the dirt over the yellow line and using the pit entry road. So yeah, maybe it was a bit naughty, but we'll see what happens.
The Terry Wyhoon off to a fantastic start for the night, pole position, but unfortunately things didn't go to plan. What did it feel like, Terry?
Well, we started off sort of okay on that first lap, George, but it felt to me like, maybe the right front tyre was losing some air pressure. It was developing a fairly severe understeer, and it got worse and worse. And then on that 3rd or 4th lap, whatever it was, I come onto the front straight with a lot of lock on, and yeah, she just went straight forward into the wall.
Well, that was Terry Wyhoon, and a very generous cars are on the track, and Terry Wyhoon leads them along with Jimmy Richards on the front row. Kim and Rodney Jane take up row number 2.
Max Dumsey and Neville Lance. Row 4, Greg Murphy and John Maltzhead.
And great to see Greg Murphy there. Jimmy Ellis on row 5 along with Bob Middleton. Ian Thomas and Paul Stocker rounds out the field. Lights are out on the pace car. The AC Delco Cup cars are ready to battle in race number 2 here at Adelaide International Raceway. 50 laps coming up.
Set for a fast race and a fast start.
Green flags waving. We're on board with Greg Murphy in the Clarion Champion Gold Chef Monte Carlo. Cars have gone around.
Neville Lance turned around. I was just about to say, Gerald, one of the things you really need to be careful on this racetrack is to actually standing on the gas too early, because you run the risk of lighting the tyres up on the back of the car, breaking loose and spinning out of control. That's exactly what we saw happen there with Neville Lance.
Well, Max Dumsney in the Valvoline Chef Monte Carlo comes onto the main straight under lights here. And just cuts that corner fine. Everyone comes in, cuts that number 1 corner. Terry Wyhoon out in front. Kim James second. Jimmy Richards in third.
Yeah, it's a tough way around this racetrack. You need to cut in tight there, let the car drift a little. It's nice if you can hold it down tight in the apex of the turn, but it's very difficult to do here at Adelaide. The corners are just so flat. Oh, Jimmy Richards tried to get up the inside of Kim Jane.
Wow, that was a very interesting one, and Jim Richards has gone back. He's having a dirty night.
Jim's not having a good night at all, is he?
Had a little bit of a laugh in the interview with you earlier, George. Very diplomatic.
He was trying hard to be diplomatic. It was
his
quite an interesting interview.
Too, didn't he?
I pushed him a little bit there, but he couldn't quite come out with it.
Had the nose in the rule book.
Oh, I can't say that. Jimmy wouldn't know enough. No, not Jimmy. He wouldn't put his nose in the rule book.
Jimmy now battling with Greg Murphy there, the Clarion Champion Gold Cup. There's Rodney Jane on the tail of Max Dumsney, who's not far behind Terry Wyhoon, but out in front it is Kim Jane in the 27. Bob Jane T-Mart Chef Monte Carlo.
What about this car of Terry Wyhoon's? How good's that going around? The car's all beat up. One side of it looks like a corrugated iron shed. I mean, if you had that car on the Thunderdome, it would have the handling characteristics of a waterbed.
Not a king coil.
No, not at all.
There's has Kim Jane out in front. We should say Terry Wyhoon, as he said in the interview, and we picked it in race 1, perhaps it was a tyre going down. The car pushed severely very quickly straight into the wall, and he kept going and got some points.
Yeah, that would have hurt him dearly if he hadn't been able to get back out here again. I dare say that it has hurt him in the point score, but at least this will keep him back out there, keep him in it.
We're on board with Greg Murphy here, the Clarion Champion Gold team, right on the tail of gentleman Jimmy Richards. He likes Jimmy so much he'd give him a bit of a rub.
Nothing but a gentle kiss. Jimmy right up behind of Rodney Jane. I wonder what's going through Jimmy's mind at the moment. Do you think he'd be remembering that first race?
Gentlemen, don't kiss and tell. Is that right?
That's right, absolutely. Jim wouldn't enter his mind.
Neville Lance, very fast lap, 23.29 a lap, number 4. Terry Wyhoon pushes out wide, come in on 4, off 4 onto the main straight. There's Rodney Jane now on the tail of Max Dumsney. And John Sydney Racing would have to be very happy. Old John in the pits.
They certainly would be. Max right up on the tail of the BP car care car of Terry Wyhoon. Looking for a way around there. It's a difficult racetrack to pass on. Max trying to hold the car down really tight, but the trouble is holding it down there, aren't able to get on the gas and get the power down onto the racetrack.
What a class bunch of drivers we've got there too, George. We've got Terry Wyhoon, Max Dumsney, Jim Richards, Greg Murphy, 2 Bathurst 1000 winners are in there. Wyhoon, a great speedway driver, as is Max Dumsney. And here's an up-and-coming guy, Rocket Rodney Jane as well.
Absolutely great team of drivers and fantastic level of equipment. These cars are just beautifully prepared.
So Wyhoon still holding Dumsney out. There's John Moult said. Jimmy Ellis also back there. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, Jimmy's doing a good job. Yeah, he's hanging in there. He's really come to terms with this short track, hasn't he?
He's looking for a big result this weekend at the Adelaide International Raceway half-mile oval. And the car's still jostling for position. Murphy there on screen in that 34 car. And second race meeting in the AC Delco Cup cars. Did well at the Calder Park Goodyear Thunderdome, but succumbed to engine failure at the last race.
Yeah, it's tough. Looking at out of Greg Murphy's windscreen into the back of Jimmy. When I say into the back of Jimmy Richards, I'm almost literally.
Lap 10 of 50, as they say, gentlemen, don't kiss and tell.
50 laps, you know, you really know you've done a day's work when you do 50 laps around Adelaide. This is a really hard-working little racetrack.
Despite the fact that the conditions have cooled down, George, it's still hot.
Still very hot.
International Raceway.
Very hot in the race cars.
Very,
very hot, Gerald.
George, do many of the drivers actually wear the cool suits on a night like tonight? No,
they've actually gone away from the cool suits a little now because there weren't problems with the cool suits. The cool suit has to have a couple of tubes running through them that carry a cold liquid. And there were cases, in fact, I had a case one time myself where the tubes got pinched and it was almost like wearing a Glad bag. So what we're doing now is that we've got helmets that have fresh air pumped into them.
Did you ever find whoever pinched the tubes?
No, perhaps it was Gentleman Jim, who knows?
Wyhoon's still in second spot there. There's Rodney Jane, a fabulous race in race 1. Came in second spot and looking to get back to that position again or consolidate his night here at Adelaide International Raceway with another podium finish. Kim Jane, though, in control of this race.
Well, Rodney having a good night here. He's certainly got the car on the pace. He seems to have learned a little bit of patience, do you think, since the first race?
That's what it's all about. That's what has made people like Jim Richards successful. It is about patience.
Absolutely. Being patient, waiting for the brakes and being smooth. And Terry Wyhoon sliding out of that turn there. That car's just remarkable considering the shape that the body is in and the work that crew must have put in. We heard Terry's wife Sue say that they had bent control arms, steering components had to be replaced. You know, it's a big call to be able to set a car up out here in Adelaide where you really don't have the garage areas that we have at Calder Park either. You've got a tent on a grass surface. To be able to set a car up from scratch and get it going around the turns like that, great effort.
We should say next time they come around turn number 1 into number 2, watch to the front wheels of these cars as well as the drivers get hard on the brakes. The brake discs start to glow at night time and glow quite hot.
Yeah, absolutely. This track is very, very hard on brakes. And we heard Jim Richards say earlier that he actually ran out of brakes because what happens, they get so hot that it actually boils the fluid. And once the fluid boils, then you lose your brakes. The pedal goes all the way to the floor. And it's not a good feeling in the pit of your stomach, I can tell you, when you reach the end of this straightaway at 140 or 150 miles an hour and nothing happens when you put your foot on the brake. Oh, Jimmy Richards around again. Greg Murphy, big tag there. Oh, did we say Jim was having a bad night?
It has been a horror night for gentleman Jim Richards. We're under caution here at Adelaide International Raceway for the AC Delco Cup. We're going to a break. Hang in there. We'll be back with more action after this.
Coming up on 10, highlights of the 1997 API Rally Australia. All the action from Perth next on Summer of Sport.
Remember, no charges. Dial 132625.
His family. Can we trust him?
He's larger than life.
Who are you?
I'm your Uncle Buck.
Do I have an uncle?
And he's here for a week.
Think she hates me?
With a passion.
Macaulay Culkin and John Candy star in Uncle Buck, 8:30 Tuesday.
Welcome back to Adelaide International Raceway, the AC Delco Cup. Race number 2, round number 4. We're on a restart after the caution, and gentleman Jimmy Richards' dirty night continues at AIR.
Certainly all to the back of his race car, I know that. These cars are grouped up nice and tight, aren't they? Great starts, fast starts. They're getting on the gas very, very early.
The back markers coming through there. Paul Stocker in his old Cutler Supreme, but there we've got Kim Jane out in front of Terry Waihoon, Max Dumsney, and also Rodney Rocket Jane. But Kim Jane just controlling the race and doing a fabulous job. There's the local boy, Bob Middleton, the White Line Transport Cat car. Great to see him doing well.
Well, Terry Waihoon doing a fantastic job after major repairs after a huge accident. And Nathan Prendergast is down with his wife, Sue, in the pits.
Well, Sue, the car's on the track again and in better shape than it was from the first race. Was there a fair bit of damage between the races?
There was actually, yes. We'd certainly done a steering arm, which we had to borrow. It's certainly not one to fit the track, so we're just actually making do with what we've got. Didn't really find anything else wrong with it. Looked like it might have been a slow leak in a tyre that caused the problem. The car's not going too bad, although the times aren't really quick. He's hanging in there and doing a pretty good job, so that's all we can hope for.
Well, the car's stuck in third mode lately, so hopefully we can kick it up at least one more gear now and stay in that second spot or go for number 1.
Well, we're really hoping to go for number 1, but hey, we're happy with thirds. That's fine.
Well, this team is one that goes racing and enjoys themselves. That's Sue and Terry Waihoon. And looking back through the field, there's Bob Middleton again battling away with Neville Lance. Also, Greg Murphy looking the inside line, 3 abreast down the main straight.
Yeah, Neville Lance looking for the wide way around the racetrack there. I don't know how well that'll work for him, but, well, he's keeping it in one piece at the moment.
Kim Jane just doing a terrific job with the John Sydney Racing Chev Monte Carlo. Waihoon still out in front of Max Dumsney and Rod Jane. And onto the main straight, the short straight, pedal to the metal, off the pedal, onto the brakes, duck left into turn number 1.
Well, Gerald, still anybody's race here. These guys are certainly keeping in touch. You know, Kim hasn't been able to get too much of a gap over Terry Waihoon, and Max Dumsney right behind him. Neville Lance looking for a way through there.
Jimmy Ellis we saw there about to cop a tap off Neville Lance. See them on screen now. Oh, Murphy's gone out wide and whacked the wall side on. Ouch, that would have hurt Murphy.
Yeah, painful, absolutely.
We're under caution here at Adelaide International Raceway. There it is, the Clarion Champion Gold Chev Monte Carlo of Greg Murphy, the Bathurst 1000 winner.
Well, we spoke earlier of just how hard this racetrack can bite you and how quickly it happens. There it was again.
And Greg Murphy, unfortunately, has paid the price, lap 36 of 50 here at Adelaide International Raceway, the AC Delco Cup. Round number 4, race number 2, and quite contrasting conditions to earlier this afternoon under the sun.
Absolutely, but this is what we came for. This is what's supplying the fast and furious action. You know, the conditions are a little cooler now. The cars are a lot faster. The drivers really dialed in. They're not so worried about looking after the cars because this is it. This is the pointy end of the stick.
Can you hear the music to Jaws? Is it safe to go back in the water? Well,
What
here we
are
go.
you
Jimmy
talking
Richards
about?
is right on the tail of Rocket Rodney Jane. And that Chevy Monte Carlo looks like it's a big shark.
That's a great comparison. That was deep, mate. That was really deep.
Oh, I tell you what, they come right out of the closet here. George G looks so good.
Get back to the racing. Look at Max Dumsley out wide. Rodney tried to get up underneath him, but didn't quite get there. Max shut the gate at the last, or was it the cage? Shut the cage, this is the last minute.
Lap 43 of 50 round the Adelaide International Raceway. Race number 2, round 4. Kim Jane still out in front of Terry Waihoon and Max Dumsley and Rodney Rocket. Jane in the Auscar alloy wheel. Chef Monte Carlo is starting to pressure, and here comes Jimmy Richards again.
Well, just looking at the rear end of Jimmy Richards' car there, extensively damaged, and that would definitely be playing havoc with that car. The wing not able to do its job, not able to get the downforce happening, and it would certainly be loose coming out of the turns.
Unlike the Thunderdome, we should mention, George, that the cars don't have those wings laid back a little bit. They're virtually straight up and down.
Yeah, the idea of that is to try and get more downforce on the back of the car. Because these turns are so flat, you really need to try to get the back of the car to stick. Otherwise, they come very, very loose. Stand the wings up a little straighter. That creates more downforce aerodynamically and helps them to get through the turns.
Kim James, John Sydney Racing prepared Chev Monte Carlo just looks so good on screen. Here comes Dumsley down the inside of Terry Waihoon. The 25 BP Car Care Ford Thunderbird holds out the Valvoline car. Max Dumsley that time around.
Well, I'd say Terry Waihoon holding him out through sheer determination. Max definitely the quicker through the turn. So is Rodney and Jim. The three of those cars are faster than Terry through the turn, but they've got to get around him to be able to pull away.
Well, they're all looking for different lines that time down the front straight and into turn number 1. Here they come. Richards now is tucked in on the line. Here comes Neville Lance as well.
Yeah, the gaps are closing up for all these cars, beginning the pointy end of the stick. This is the end that means business.
And the brakes blowing on Rod Jane's car just looked amazing.
I'd say most of these guys are probably experiencing some sort of brake fade, which is not to be mixed up with brain fade. And, you know, as we spoke earlier, it makes it very difficult to get into that racetrack. Put your foot on the pedal and nothing happens.
There's Rodney Jane now with Richards right on his tail. Dumsley looking down the inside of Waihoon. Look at the brakes on the car there. The number 3 one in 3rd spot. Well, actually 4th spot on the racetrack. And they come out onto the main straight again. The laps are counting down.
This brake pad's almost on fire at the end of the straightaway. Just amazing that, you know, the incredibly high temperatures that the brake fluid can stand.
Dumsley looking for every which way past Terry Waihoon. That gap just closes up. They look how quick now. Neville Lance is right on all their tails.
Terry drifting out wide there. The white flag's waving. There's 1 lap to go. Can Terry Waihoon, he's sideways. Oh, he's got a little bit of a tap there from Max. Max has gone for an opening that just wasn't there.
How is that? Rodney Jane's in the 2nd. Neville Lance is in the 3rd. Just amazing. Kim Jane's going to come around and take the win. We're under caution. No more passing. And that will be the order. Kim Jane, the Bob Jane T-Mart car, takes the checkered flag. A great win here at Adelaide International Raceway. Rodney Jane in the 2nd and Neville Lance, a surprise 3rd spot. Jim Richards and Waihoon miss out. Let's go down to Kim Jane.
Well, Kim, back to your old form, 2 from 2. You're getting pretty used to it, but a great showing considering last round was pretty disastrous.
Yeah, well, 9th place last round when hit the wall, finishing 5 laps back. You know, tonight the guys just done such a great job on the Monte Carlo. Like, it just hooked up coming out of the corner so well, and we could just pull away at ease really, and it was just a matter of keeping it together from there and bringing home the bacon.
Now, that's 2 races, Jane 1 and Jane 2, and 2 for John Sydney. Great team.
Well, that's a first, isn't it? Kim Jane first, Rodney Jane second. I thought he'd be a while longer getting there, but he's done such a great job, and he's obviously drive very sensible in the 2nd race and brought it home in 2nd. So well done, Rod.
Well, very happy winner there. Kim Jane in the Bob Jane T-Mart car takes out another win. Rodney Jane, as he said.
Denez, Magnussen way back down there after he shunt. Turu and Rosset in 22nd spot.